So yesterday we were discussing about this timing diagram, and we have seen how the data flows, like address comes on the address bus, how the control signal is sent, and how the data will come back on your data bus, and how internally it's handled. And we have seen how that tasks are done using 8085, like how 8085 send various signals to various pins, or you can say various devices, and how it puts address and data bus, like data on address data bus. Okay, so we have seen this timing diagram for that, and we have learned one instruction. That instruction was addition, to perform addition between two registers. Okay, so the instruction was ADDR. Here is the instruction add R. Your register, how the addition will happen. The addition will be done between accumulator, that means register A, and register R. R can be any other register. Again, it can be A itself as well. Like you can sum between accumulator with again accumulator. So you can have A plus A, or you can have A plus B, or C, or D, or E, or H, or L. But always one part of your addition would be accumulator. So keep that in mind. One number must be stored in accumulator to perform addition. The second point was that whenever addition is performed, the answer is stored in accumulator again. So if the content of accumulator is, let us say, 10, let's have one more time, let's have an example. If your accumulator content is 10, okay, this is again hexadecimal number, and if your content of register C, let us say, have 20, and if you write an instruction that add C, that means addition will perform between register A and C, and answer will stored into A. So what would be the answer? 20 plus 10 is 30. So the content of A would be now updated and is now 30. And again, C would be remain as it is. There would be no change in the content of C. But content of register A would definitely change from 10 to it would become 30. Why? Because whenever addition is performed, the answer is again stored in accumulator. So previous content of accumulator was 10, and now new number will be stored. So if your data is important to you, in that case, you have to take care that your content is not like you have a copy of content. Otherwise, what will happen? This content is lost now. Now I don't know what was my previous number. This will be lost, and this will be replaced by 30. So data loss, I can say this is a data loss. But if you have stored this number somewhere else, you can have that data. Sometime it is needed to keep track of the data. So we'll discuss it about later on. Like I'll explain your situation where if you lose the content of accumulator, you will lose so many things. Okay, so this is how addition will be done between two numbers. If you want to write a program, this is the program. MVI A, comma 20, MVI B, comma 30, add B, and last instruction, it is HLT. Okay, it is a hold command. What this command will do? It will ask 8085 processes to stop. So it will take 8085 in ideal mode. That means when it once 8085 reads hold, no other execution will be there. So this is a kind of end of program signal. Here, if I write HLT, there is my end of program. Okay, we'll see this in an experiment. So HLT, we are not going to learn more about HLT, but it's just end of a program. That's it. So you have to write HLT after each program. Okay, so once you write a whole code, write the last instruction as HLT. It's hold instruction. The other important parameters of this add instruction was it is a 1 byte instruction and it has one operation, it is upward fetch cycle. So it will only have one cycle, it is upward fetch, and it would be having 4 tested. So if I ask you execution time of 8085 to execute this add instruction, it would be your time into 4. So 4t you can say. So if I have 2 megahertz frequency, it would be 1 microsecond, and I can say 4 microsecond would be required to perform the addition. Now let's move ahead. Now we are going to do a little bit of complex program, I can say. So what we are going to do now is we'll try to learn a new program. Along with that, we'll try to have a new instruction. So let's divide this into page one. In one portion, I can write a program. Okay. So let us say write an assembly level program to sum 5 data stored in memory location let us say D500H onwards and store the answer in executive location. Okay. Now see, this program is very different than the previous one. In previous program, what we have given was immediate data. That means we were already aware about the data that this 2 number has to be added. But here, a very general statement is given. A 5 data is stored in memory at some location. So there would be a memory like this. Okay. Now inside this memory, there would be like this kind of registers, and here at some D500 location, some data are stored. Let us assume that data is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay. So the locations would be D500, D5001, sorry, D501, D502, D503, and D504. This would be the locations. Now what I have to do, I have to sum all this data, okay, and then I have to store the answer in next consecutive location. Now when you are performing this kind of addition, you have to take care of one more thing that we'll see later on, but as of now, let us first understand how to read this data. Now see, the difference is this data is not immediate. This all our data. Now data is stored in consecutive locations. So there is no program in between. So you have to write a program separately which will come here and take this data from here to there. Okay. So you have to read this data individually, one by one. Okay. So how to do that? So there are more than 2 ways or 3 ways to do this thing. The easiest one, let us start with easiest one and then we'll understand the complex one. Okay, the easiest one is this instruction. We are going to understand a lot of instruction using this single program. Okay, the first instruction that we are going to learn is LDA 16-bit address. This is the instruction. In general term, it's written like this: LDA 16-bit address. For an example, if I'm writing LDA D500, so what this instruction will do? This instruction will load accumulator from address. Okay. So what will happen if I write LDA D500? This instruction will go to address D500 and bring the data. What is data on D500 here? In our case, bring the data 10 in register A. So data, whatever is the data on this location would be directly coming into register A. If you write LDA D500, what does this mean? Load accumulator from given address. Okay, this is a load accumulator from given address. So D500 is the location. So it will go to this location and it will bring in whatever data is there. Okay, understand? Like first you understand this basic concept of this instruction. It will just go to that particular address given. It will go to that address and it will bring whatever data is there. It will bring that data inside your accumulator. Now here, if you want to store this data in any other register like B or C or D, it is not possible because this instruction itself state load data to accumulator. Load data to accumulator. LDA means load data to accumulator. So it is not possible to move that data, like to store that data directly in register B, C, D, E or H or L. But you can do it only to accumulator. So you have to provide your 16-bit address along with this instruction LDA. Immediately that instruction will execute and immediately your 10 would be inside your accumulator. Once I execute this instruction, the number 10 would be inside my accumulator. Clear? I need response. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now let's go inside, somewhat inside like this instruction, like what is the size of instruction, what is the operations that would be occurred. Okay, so this instruction, what is the size of this instruction? Yesterday I have given you a general tip. One is for opcode and here I have 16-bit data. Okay, though this is address, but it is data for this particular thing. So this is a 16-bit data. That means 1 byte number, 1 byte number, and 1 opcode. So this is a 3-byte instruction. It is a 3-byte instruction. And what about the number of operations, or which are the operations that it is going to perform? Which are the operations it will going to perform? Can anyone help me with that? Which operations would it perform? I'll expect some response.
Sir, opcode fetch.
Sir, opcode.
Fetch, correct. Then, okay, first is opcode fetch. Let us look into the opcode. What is the opcode? Just a moment. I'll fetch the opcode. (21) is the opcode. Let us see. First, it will read 21. Then, next, I need next answers. Okay, before answering this question, you must understand how and where this instruction will be stored. So this instruction again will be stored somewhere in memory. Let us have an example. It is stored on 2000H. So what would be the first data on 2000? First obviously would be opcode. So 21 would be stored first. Then on the next location, there is no immediate data. So is there any data on next location? So answer would be definitely yes. Why? Because itself it is says it's occupy 3 byte of information to store. So which are the other 2 byte? We know one is opcode and other 2 byte is this data. The address we have given from which I have to take the data. So this address I have to tell to 8085. How I am going to tell that address? There is no magic going inside. So you have to tell it through instruction. So I have given the instruction 21. But along with 21, it will require the address. What is the address? So I have to, along with 21, I have to provide the address. So next to location will have the address. So here I am going to store the address. So first I am going to store 00, low order address. And then on the next location, I'll be storing D5H. That is my high order address. So combinedly it makes D500. Okay. Combinedly it makes D500. So my address is stored in this way. Okay. So obviously now if you look at this instruction, you'll come to know first it will fetch this opcode. Then second it will read this two data. Okay. Obviously this is address, but for this instruction it is a data. It is data given along with my instruction. So this is the data for this particular instruction. So this data has to be uh, taken inside, and then it will come to know what is the address, because this is the information of the address. So it will perform two memory read operation afterwards. It will perform two memory read operation. What would be the first read will read? First read will go to 2001 and it will read 00. Second read will perform on 2002, it will read D5. Okay. Now see, if I stop here, what I have right now is I have an address from where I need a data. I have D500, but does it have actually like actual data? Do I have actual data right now? No, the actual data still inside a memory. 10 is actual data. So again, one more memory read will be performed, and this one more memory read will be performed on the new location, that is D500, and then it will bring 10 inside the accumulator. Okay, so these are the operations that will be performed while using LDA. Okay, so actually if you calculate, it is 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 13 T state required to execute the single instruction. Okay, how many? 13 T states are required to execute this instruction. I hope you understand in detail like how this things happens. Everything is stored inside a program. So this is my program. See, this is my program. This is my program. This is my data. Okay, let's have a data in red. Let me better like write in a better way. Just a moment, I am just writing the data in better way so it is easier to see. I want to move this table and it is not moving. It's moving itself. Let me directly type it over here only. We have D500. On D500 we have number 10H. On D501 we have, let us say, 20H. On D502 say 30H. D503 let us have 40H, and on D504 let us have 50. D506 and D507. Okay, I hope this is clearly visible to you. Okay, now see, this is the addresses. Yeah. This is my addresses and data inside a memory. Now do not understand like this memory and this memory are different. It's not like that. What is different here is just the address. This is the range where I have written my program. So 2000 is the range where I have written my program, and D500 is the range where I have written my data. That's the only difference. Otherwise, this would be the on the same memory chip. Okay, it is possible that it might not be in same memory, but if I have a 64 kilobyte of memory, this all ranges would be on the same memory, single memory chip. But as of now, just let us consider this address and this data. Okay, so this is my program. So how LDA instruction will execute? First, it will see 21. As soon as 8085 sees 21, it knows I have to bring in a 16-bit address, and from that 16-bit address, I have to bring data. So there are two different things going on. Once it reads LDA. LDA will require a separate address from which address I have to bring in a data to. First, it has to read an address. This is the address, so the address has to be stored immediate locations. Like now the immediate data is my addresses. So I am storing the addresses on immediate data. Always take care. First, you have to store your lower order address, that is 00, last byte LSB, and in the next location you have to store the higher byte addresses, that is D5 here. So this is how you are going to store this program. So what it will do, it will go first, it will fetch the 21 as output, then it will perform two memory read to read the address. This combinedly will make an address D500. Once this 3 cycle complete, first 3 cycle is completed, this 3, immediately in next cycle your address bus would have D500. Okay, and from that D500 it will bring this number 10 inside your accumulator. Now we know what is the first line of code. Obviously first I have to bring this code in accumulator. Okay, that's the first step. Now what should be done in next step? I have first data. Now what should be the second step? Can anyone guess the second step?
Sir, make them.
Sorry? Can you come again? Whoever was that. This is the first step. Now see, now you have to perform addition between 5 data bytes. Now we know at any point of time I can operate on 8-bit data. That means 2 8-bit data can be operated. That means I can first add this two number 10 plus 20. Then whatever is the answer, then I am going to add 30 to that answer. Then I am going to add 40 to that, and then 50 to that. So what first I am going to do? I am going to perform sum between these two numbers. This is my first number, and this is my second number. So 10 and 20, I'll perform first sum between the two. So obviously I have to bring in my second data. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So how to do that? Again, I can do LDA T501 H. Whenever I write H, H represent hexadecimal number. Keep that in mind. Okay, like H કોઈ ડેટા કે નથી કે કશું નથી. અહીંયા H જે છે નંબરની પાછળ at the end of the number is just for your hexadecimal representation. I forgot to start recording. Okay. Now see, if you do this like this, what will happen? As soon as this first instruction execute, what would be the content of accumulator? 10. As soon as this second execute, what would be the content of accumulator? Can anyone help? What would be the
20.
content? 20. That means 10 is gone now. So you have to save 10 to, like, 10 is moving out. So you have to take care of the 10. The 10 should not go anywhere once it comes in there. So what we are going to do? I am going to use a temporary resistor. So what I am going to do? I am going to move it to B. Now see what I have done. I have moved that data to resistor B. So problem solved. Problem solved or not? Here what will happen? Now see, your accumulator will bring in 10 first. Then that 10 will be copied to resistor B. Still A has 10. Still it is there. But once this two execute, A and B both have 10 now. Then I am again performing LDA. What will happen now? Your A will bring in new data, that is 20. But now B has the copy of 10. So do not worry. Now I can perform addition between two numbers. So I'll write an add instruction. Let me write it like this. Let's say add B. What would happen now? As soon as I write add B, what will happen? Addition will be performed between accumulator and resistor B. So accumulator content is 20 right now and B is 10. 20 plus 10 would be 30. Now see, this 30 is different. This is answer of my summation. Now what I can do? I can bring in my next data. The 30 is stored where? This 30 is stored where? This 30 is stored inside your accumulator. Okay. Now I'm going to perform again LDA B502. So it will bring in my next data, that is 30. But where this 30 will go? It will vanish, like this 30 will gone and now new 30 will be stored. Though these numbers are same, let us change this number. Let's change this. Let us make it 35. So we can understand it better. So what will happen? Initially, there was 30. Here the number stored was 30h. This is the answer to the summation of first two numbers. Then I have bring a new number, that is 35. What will happen? This 30 will be moved out. So what again I have to do? I have to save this 30 before performing any new operation on accumulator. So accumulator is very like fragile, like very volatile. You have to take care. You have to always take care. If you are performing any instruction, you have to take care. It might modify your content of A. So you have to take care after writing each and every instruction, which at the register this instruction are going to modify. You have to take care of that thing. Okay. So now we know that accumulator, if I don't save the content of accumulator, my previous answer will be lost. So what I'm going to, as soon as I perform add B, I'm going to move my answer to register B again. Now see what I have done. I have moved my data to register B again. So previous data of register B. Now let us see again what is happening now. I have changed something, so something will change. So now what happening? Now addition between A and B is performed. Accumulator will have my answer, that is 30h. Now I am transferring. Sorry, this is written wrongly. Move B comma A. Okay. So now what will happen? The content of A would be copied to B. So B will become 30. Now do I need this 10? Do I need this 10? See, B is updating from 10 to 30.
No.
But do I need it? No. It is stored in memory and I already performed the sum of that number. So
Addition.
if I discard this, no issue. It is fine. And then what I am doing? Then I am bringing a new number from memory, that is 35. Okay. Now I can perform sum between these two. Okay. So next instruction would be again add B. Then once I add that two number, again that number would be stored in accumulator. Okay, whatever is the answer, 3 plus 3 6 65 is the answer. It is in accumulator. Again I am going to bring a new data. This may be override, that's why I have to store it. So again I am going to store it by writing move B comma A, and then I can bring my new data from next location, that is D503H. Now see what happens. Once I move this in B, my B is 65 now, and I am having a new number from D503, that is 40. So A is 40 now. So 40 plus 65, I can perform addition between these two numbers now. So add B. What would be the answer? 65 plus 40. What is the answer?
105.
105.
What is the answer?
105.
I have written the answer on screen. Now read it. What is the answer? What is the answer?
A5.
A5. Why A5? Because we are performing
Sir, 10 is A.
hexadecimal. These all numbers are in hexadecimal. We are not talking about decimal at all. This all answers are were hexadecimal. I have not written it because I want you to do mistake. But this all numbers are in hexadecimal. So 40 plus 65 plus 40 in hexadecimal. Like if you considering hexadecimal and if you are doing this sum, 5 plus 0 would be 5. 6 plus 4 is 10 in decimal, but actually in hexadecimal we have a separate character for 10, and that is A. That's why I am writing 10. Now let's have an example where your answer would be different. Now suppose you are performing in hexadecimal. Your number is this 90 and 80. Okay, both are hexadecimal number. So 00 will result in 0, no issue. Now 8 plus 9. 8 plus 8 is 16 and 17. 17 is the answer. Now 17 is the decimal answer. So you have to write equivalent hexadecimal here. Then and then you can add it like in decimal. Otherwise you will make a mistake. So how to convert this decimal into hexadecimal? यहाँ पे ट्रिक ना करें. We know okay 15 is the maximum possible with f. Then 15 plus 16 plus 17. So 15 plus 2. So you can have this as a f. Okay, sorry, not 2. So 15 plus 2. Actually 15 afterward it comes 16 and 17. So this is 0 and this is 1. So what would be the answer? F0 again with 1. So 1 F0 is the answer. Okay, we'll talk this about later on, like how to do this. But take care that you are performing hexadecimal addition and you don't end up with the wrong answer. Okay, so up to this point we are correct. Still one data byte is remaining, so I have to do this one more time. LDA. Sorry, first I have to move this answer. I have to store this answer separately, so I'll move that answer to move PA. And then I'm going to store my answer, load my new number, that is D504H. Now the new number will come in. So B is A5 right now, and my new number 50 will come in. So 50 plus A5, what would be the answer? 50 plus A5, what is the answer?
F5.
F5, correct. F5 is the answer. So F5 would be the answer. Now, where is the answer? Answer is in accumulator. Okay. When you perform this, your accumulator become F5. Now see, all the numbers are covered. The summation is done. Now, what you have to do? Now, what is the next step? See, 5 data stored in memory location. So write a program to sum. So sum is completed. Now the second task is store the answer in consecutive location. So consecutive location is this next location. So I have to store answer here now. So up to this point, what I was doing, I was reading this data. Now the next step is to write the data. Where I have to write a data on D506. So can LDA perform this task? Can LDA perform this task? No, LDA cannot perform. What it can do? It can read the data from memory from given address. So there is a sister instruction to LDA which can do that. Okay, I'll say sister instruction, that is STA. Okay, again every other part would be same. It is a 16-bit instruction. It requires a 16-bit address. So how I'm going to write it? I'm going to write it as STAD506. What this instruction will do? This will store accumulator is the name. Store accumulator to memory is the name. But what in detail we can say is it will store the content of accumulator on given address. So this instruction can perform a memory write operation. So how it will do? It will go to this address, 16-bit address. Here it addresses D506. Whatever is the content of accumulator, it will copy that content over here. So if you perform ST after this instruction, ST here, your F5 will automatically be stored here. Okay, your F5 will be stored here if you perform STA. Okay, now let's do discussion on what are the operations performed using STA. Again, this is a 3-byte instruction. Okay, you can see 1 byte for opcode, 2 byte for this 2 data. So 3-byte instruction. How it would be written? How this instruction would be written? So the instruction might be written like this. Let us have an example at 2000H opcode. I don't know opcode, but I'm not even going to see that opcode. Then on 2001, lower order address, that is 06H, and on 2002 there would be D5H. Now what will be the operations performed? The first operation would be opcode fetch. Whatever is the opcode, I am not going in what is opcode. What would be the next cycle? The idea. What will be the next cycle? See, again I am repeating. If it is a 2 byte or 3 byte instruction, next step would be most of the time it would be memory read cycle. Again here also it is a memory read. See, here it was memory read. What we were reading in memory read cycle, we were reading the addresses, given addresses. Same way here I am going to perform a memory read cycle, and I am going to read 06 first. Then again I am going to perform a memory read where I am going to read the address D5. So D506 combinedly now it makes the address. What is the next cycle now? Now next cycle is to store. That means it would be memory write. Where it will be performed? It will be performed on the address D506 we just have read here. Okay. So here in STA the 4 cycles are opcode fetch, memory read followed by memory write. The last operation is memory write because we are storing some content in the accumulator. That's the only reason the last cycle is memory write. These two are memory, though we are actually storing something, then also we have memory read here. Why? Because we have to give the address to 8085, and whenever you want to give some data to 8085, there will be data that is stored inside our program itself. So this is my program, and my program holds the data itself. So it will perform a memory read cycle to read this program or read these addresses. Okay, so though it is a memory write operation, there are memory read operations inside, and at the end the last cycle was there which will perform a memory write, and it will be D506. And what would be the data? If I talk about the timing diagram of this instruction, what would be the data during this execution? The data would be the content of accumulator, or here you can say F5 would be the data, and as soon as you write STA, the content of D506 will become F5. Okay, so F5 will come here automatically. So what would be the next line of program? It would be STA. You have to specify the address D505H. Let me erase something over here. So this is your D5. I have mistakenly hit it like this. There is a mistake here only. I have skipped the 5 here. This is D505. D506. Okay, and then at the end, what I have to write? I have to write HLT. So this is the whole program for this task. Write a logical program to some file data stored in memory. So data was stored in memory. I have bring that data inside my 8085. I have performed the summation, and at the end, at the last location, I have stored my answer. So this is the program. Okay, write down this program first. Quickly write down this program. Okay, done. Or you can take a screenshot of this thing, but it should be done with the question as well. So take a screenshot. If you don't want to write, you can take a screenshot of this. Okay, now everyone done? I need some responses. I have to make sure
Yes,
you are
sir.
Yes,
Done.
sir.
Done.
and you are here. Okay, now my next statement will shock you that this program is wrong. What's the error in this program? Okay, now I'll give you a new data. Let us say the data is not this. I'm going to modify the data and this program will be wrong immediately. Okay. See, I'm going to modify this data. Let us say the first number was 19, second number was 25, third number was 36, fourth number is, let us say, 47, and fifth is 52. Now, as soon as you perform a first addition between first two numbers 19h and 25h, 9 plus 5, 14, equivalent hexadecimal is D, and 1 plus 2, 3D, H is the answer. Next, what we are going to do? We are going to add 36 to this number. So D is 14, 14 plus 6, 20. Okay. What is the equivalent for 20? What is the equivalent number for 20 in your hexadecimal? This is
F
decimal number.
F6
Sorry.
F4 F5. Sorry, sir. F5. 15 plus 5.
Okay, no issue. How to do this? First, you have to learn this. How to do this? Like how you can directly write a number. So we know that your number system for hexadecimal will start from 0. It will go up to 15, or you can say 0 to F. 15 I am saying as a decimal. Okay. So we know that at 15th decimal I am out of number. I am out of number space. So immediately after, if I go to 16, what I have to do? I have to start with a two-digit number in hexadecimal. Okay. If I set decimal number is 16, then my hexadecimal number will become 10. That I know. Okay. So what we are going to do, like to convert this directly to hexadecimal, just subtract 16 out of this 20. So you'll get 4. So your answer would be 4. Now you have subtracted once, so you can say 1 4 is the answer. Let us say one more example. Let us say I have 33. So minus 16. What would be the answer? Answer 17
17.
minus 16 again. What would be the
1.
answer? 1.
1.
You have done this twice, so 21 would be the number. Okay. Most of the time you don't require this. You just require this thing. Just do it once. So your answer is here 1 4. That means 4 is the answer with 1 carry. 3 plus 3 6. 6 plus 1 74 would be the answer. But if you perform this experiment in your 8085, you won't get this 74. You will get 64 only. Why? Because this carry, there is a carry while we were performing operation. Sorry, no, this carry will be taken carry. Your answer would be 74. No issue in this number. Your answer would be 74. Then again, what I am going to do? Now I am going to use a calculator. I am not going to like explain every step. In your calculator, you can do a hexadecimal. How? Go to programmer mode. If it's a computer, go to programmer and select hex over here. Then you can do the sum. First number is 19. So 19 plus 25. 25. Okay. 3E is the answer. Why we had written 3D? 95. Okay. This was the error. This is 3E. 14 is equivalent to E and not D. So itself this one is wrong. Please stop me if I am wrong somewhere. Okay, it happens sometime. So 3 was the answer. Then I'm going to add 25 to it. 63 would be the answer. Sorry, not. Let us move on. 19 plus 25. So 3 is the answer. 3 plus 36. So I'm going to add 36 to that. 74 would be the answer. Then where is it? Where is it? Where is it? 47. So 47. BB is the answer. And then I'm going to add 52. So this BB plus 52 will result in an error. So BB plus 52, what would be the answer? Answer is 10D. Okay. Your accumulator is only 8-bit. 0D is the 8-bit data and that would be stored in accumulator. What about this carry? This carry will be vanished. So the answer you are storing here is only 0D and not 01 over here. The answer would be 16-bit. Okay, though you are performing 8-bit data, but you are having a 5 data, so it is possible your answer may be 16-bit or more. So what is the issue here? The issue is that I am not caring about this carry. That's why this program is wrong. Otherwise this program is right. If my total answer would be less than FF, or I can say a maximum 8-bit number, in that case this program is right. Otherwise this program is wrong. So what you have to do? You have to take care if a carry generates at any point of time. Now here the carry generates at the last. But what? If the carry is generating at previous stage? So if I change this data, let us change this data to like 99 and make it 85. Make this A6. Now see the real chaos start. Okay, I am performing 99 plus 85 now. What is the answer? 11E. So the first result is 11E. So you have to take care of 1E as well as this one. Now next would be 11E plus what I'm going to do? Plus I'm going to perform A6. So A6. My answer would be 12B. Okay. But here, as 8085 is only 8-bit processor, you will only see this 1E and 2B. You will never see this one. So that one might go away if you don't take care of that. Don't take care.
Sir, calculator screen is not visible.
Okay, calculator screen is not visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I haven't shared the whole screen, that's why. Okay, so if I ask you something, let me know immediately, otherwise this will happen. Now you can see this calculator.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the answer. 12B. So you have to take care of your data at each and every point of time. If there is a carry generating, this program, that one I have written, is not at all considering a carry. It is just keeping the carry part. We have to take care of that carry part. Why? Because it is possible if I add two 8-bit numbers, a carry might generate. It is obvious. Okay. Carry in form of like carry would be the 9th bit, and 8085 can, all the registers inside 8085 is 8-bit. So 9th bit would be available to you. Like it is not 8085. 8085 knows that carry has generated. It will even notify you that carry was generated, but you have to take care of that carry by yourself. 8085 is not going to collect. As soon as you perform an action, carry will be changing. Okay, so how to take care of that carry? So to take care of that carry, there is a special register named as a flag register, and we'll discuss about this flag register in next lecture. If you have any questions up to this point, you can ask, or we'll stop here.
Sir, when we do 99H plus 85H, that is 99 plus 85, then we get 11E. So we have to consider only 1E.
We'll discuss this in next class, like what will happen. I'll show you at a simulator. I'll have a 8085 simulator where the actual whatever is going inside 8085 will be seen to us. I don't have it right now, so I'll download it and I'll show it in next lecture. What happens actually? Actually, you'll only see one. The carry is stored at different place, and you have to read the carry yourself. So
Okay, sir.
that we'll discuss in next lecture.
Hmm.
Okay, any questions other than that?
No, sir.
Then we'll stop here. If you have any question, you can ask or you can leave.
Thank you.